Okay, welcome back to the channel once again. It's LFC Plavi here, and today I just want to go back to the Mo Salah statement and kind of try to speak on a few things. I've seen so many reactions online, and I think most of the reactions are overreactions. We are reading a bit too much into the whole statement, and I think there's no need for that. And I'm going to say this right now, even before we get to Friday, where we can hear from Anna Slot on his view about this particular statement from Salah. And I'm going to say it. Anna Slot is going to try and kill this whole brouhaha. He's not going to entertain it. He's not going to put more fire on the flames. He's just going to kill it by saying that he believes what Salah said is true. We haven't performed to the level that we need to perform for the standards of Liverpool, and everybody is disappointed, and not Salah alone. The other thing that we need to also recognize is that the fact that other players have liked the statement. You can like a statement, or let me finish the statement. The fact that other players in the Liverpool dressing room, the likes of Curtis Jones, Kerkes, Florian Wirtz, even players who are not currently at the club, who are on loan elsewhere like Simikas and Harvey Elliott, the fact that they've liked the post, we shouldn't read too much into that. We shouldn't read too much into that. People like posts. People see posts and they don't react to it. It just happens. If you like a post, it doesn't mean you totally agree with everything that is written in that post. It is just a like. It ends there. That is it. Liking doesn't mean you approve of every single thing. For example, you watch a YouTube video, you watch any video on TikTok or any other platform and you like it. It does not mean that you support every single idea that has been expressed in that video. Maybe you just like the person. Whoever made the post is your friend. You just like the post and you move on. That's it. So I think it is too much reading into stuff that do not really matter. It is unnecessary to just keep reading into all these and saying that these players are supporting what Salah is saying against Slot. And who is even to say that this whole statement is against Slot? For me, I don't really read it like that. You can attribute part of it and read in between the lines and say that he's talking about Slot. But Salah was part of Slot's team last season. He came out to say he enjoyed playing. He praised the manager at the end of the season for doing what he did with him, allowing him to not exert himself too much in the defensive things that Liverpool were doing last season. He spoke about them having a meeting and Salah himself telling the coach he can give him goals if he would allow him to sort of not overexert himself when it comes to the defensive side of the game. It is the same Slot. Slot hasn't changed. As a person, he hasn't changed. He might have made different decisions now this season, but because we were winning last season, Salah had no reason to make any post like this. For me, all this has come up as a result of Liverpool not performing well on the pitch. It leads to frustration from the players' side because players don't want to be losing games like the way Liverpool have lost games this season. The manager doesn't want to be losing games the way he has lost games this season. And if anything at all, from Slot's statement, let me bring up the statement so that we can see what Salah said. So this is what Salah wrote. He says in that first paragraph that I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions. It took hard work and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. He's talking about himself. I spoke earlier on in my first video about this post that it was a bit kind of selfish, iffy. It was selfish for him to say I, is to use I. But when you think about it, he can only speak for himself. Salah can only speak for himself. He's the one making the post. So he can only speak for himself. He can't speak for other players. So I think it is fair for him to say I. Right? Us scrambling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. He's talking about the game Liverpool played against Aston Villa at the Villa Park away. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. When was the last time Liverpool won a trophy? Last season. So it is not like Liverpool have gone 10 years without winning any trophy. So clearly you can see the man is frustrated by the way things have gone this season. Talking about heavy metal football, Liverpool last season did not play heavy metal football. That wasn't what Liverpool did last season. We scored a goal or two and we just controlled the game. We didn't try to score more. In some games we scored more than two because the opportunity presented itself. Liverpool typically scores one or two and they just kill the game. It becomes a non-event until the end of the game. That is how we won the league last season. So, to be honest, I don't really see how the statement is a sure dig at Arne Slot and he's undermined the manager. He's thrown the manager under the bus. I think we should chill out a bit on social media and also when it comes to the mainstream media and the way people comment on some of these things. I think the overreaction is a bit too much. It is a bit too much. And I guarantee you that on Friday when Arne Slot speaks at his last pre-match conference for the season, he's going to make nothing really of this whole issue. He's going to kill it. So just like we saw how he handled the interview Salah did during the season, right? For me, when things are not going well, these things happen. It is football. It is human beings. Whenever human beings interact, there are going to be frictions. There are going to be stages where people get frustrated. People say things. For me, that is okay. I think the overreaction is just too much. The overreaction is too much, if I'm being honest. We've seen this happen with Jurgen Klopp and Salah, to be honest. Salah has had the same issue with Jurgen Klopp in the past. In the last season of Jurgen Klopp, Salah fell out with him because Jurgen Klopp put him on the bench. So I really don't see anything personal here. It is two people who really want to win. Slot wants to win. Salah wants to win. Things are not going the way anyone wants, and sometimes these things come up. So I, for one, don't really want to make much of this because there are parts of this statement that you can clearly see that you can't really read too much in between the lines. You can't really go too deep into it and overanalyze it. I think if you try to pick the whole statement apart, bit by bit, sentence by sentence, you might be reading too much into the whole statement. Right. Salah goes on to say that this is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It has to be recovered by the entire team. That the identity of playing attacking football, I don't want to call it heavy metal football because Salah cannot play heavy metal football at this moment. He can't play it. He hasn't been up to the pace currently in this particular season. And for me, I think Liverpool created this problem for themselves not letting Salah go last season. I think last season should have been the last time we saw Mo Salah in a Liverpool shirt. That contract extension was unnecessary. It was an emotional reaction to his performance in that particular season. You could clearly see that Liverpool didn't want to extend Salah's contract. For me, I thought Virgil van Dijk should have stayed, and Mo Salah and Trent should have been let go after last season. And it didn't happen that way. They got the extension because fans put pressure on the team. And this is the reason why people who are paid to make decisions for clubs like Liverpool should not listen to fans. This is one of the reasons why I am a fan. If I come here and I sit here, I say my opinion. I'm not an expert. I share my opinion. People who want to listen. Those who agree with me. Those who disagree with me will disagree with me. And I'm fine with that. I don't want everybody to agree with me. If you disagree with me, share your opinion. We are all sharing our opinion. But those who are paid to make the decision, I expect them to take the emotion out of it and make the right decision for the club. And I think this decision or this situation that we have right now with this statement coming out and the interview that was made during the season after we played, I think, Leeds United, we created it for ourselves. Salah should have been let go last season. When the applause was high, that was when Salah should have left, in my opinion. And so that is part of the reason why we find ourselves here. Salah is not capable of playing that heavy metal football he's talking about. He's not capable of doing it anymore because he doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the speed anymore. And that is what you need, especially in those wide areas, if you want to play in that way. So we shouldn't read too much into it. We need to recover a good way of playing, quick attacking football, a high energy, high intense football. And I feel like that is what Arne Slot wants. Arne Slot wants to play high energy, high intense football. He hasn't been able to coach it into the team this season. And that is the reason why some of us are asking that he should be sacked. Rightly so. If he is sacked, he deserves to be sacked because he hasn't been able to coach the way we expected him to coach. The way he has been coaching in his previous clubs, that is not what we are seeing here this season. So Arne Slot wants Liverpool to recover and keep that style of play that has been successful for him, which of course is a style of play that is very similar to Jurgen Klopp. His style of play is very similar to Jurgen Klopp in so many ways. That is what we kept hearing last season from the man himself, Slot. We saw it at times in the season, but this season we haven't seen it. And I'm sure Slot wants to get back to that. So if Salah says it, he's just stating the obvious. He's not criticizing the manager for trying to change things, slow things down, and make it boring. Nobody wants to play boring football. The manager has said it himself countless times. Salah goes on to say winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. I'm sure that is what Arne Slot also believes, that winning some games here and there is not good enough for Liverpool. He knows it. He knows the standard that he needs to meet as a Liverpool manager. So he's stating the obvious. This is not a dig at Arne Slot. Is Arne Slot unless you are telling me that Arne Slot is happy with what Liverpool have produced this season. He said it countless times in his post-match press conferences that he doesn't ask the players to slow things down. He doesn't ask them to sit back. He wants to play front-footed football, but he hasn't been able to coach it, and that is his fault. Of course, it is Arne Slot's fault that Liverpool are not playing front-footed football, high-pressing football, and all that. That is what we all want to see, but the guy has not been able to coach it. And that is his fault. But who is to say that even if Jurgen Klopp was here, this season would have been a good season for Liverpool? Who is to say? Because Jurgen Klopp also had bad seasons. The only difference is that towards the end of the season, Jurgen Klopp was able to bring back some sort of recovery. He was able to put us on some path of recovery. We were able to have hope that the following season was going to be better. Slot hasn't been successful in doing that. The end of the season has been even more atrocious than the start of the season. And that is why we are all saying Slot should be sacked. I want Slot to be sad because he hasn't been able to turn it around. In November, in December, I was of the opinion that Slot should be given more time. He has been given more time. I thought that by February, March, Liverpool would have recovered. We would have put together consistent wins and performances, most importantly. We haven't been able to do that. And for me, I think he has been given enough time to turn things around. He hasn't been able to. And therefore, going into next season with Slot would mean that next season is also going to be a stop-start season. It's not going to be good enough. That is what I think. That is my opinion. If the higher ups think it is going to be different, it is going to be much better with Slot, and they keep him, we are all here. We live to see. We live to see exactly how things are going to pan out. But for me, what Mo Salah is saying here, what he has said, it's no different from what I think Arne Slot wants also for Liverpool. So I think we are overanalyzing this whole issue. Let's chill out a bit. Thank you very much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and also hype the video if you can. Thank you.